What's going on, Jets fans? Welcome into the Jets Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, I want to go over 20 free agents that the New York Jets can still sign here during NFL free agency. As it stands right now, the Jets have $27 million to spend on the 2025 cap. So could they be making some big time moves? We'll have to wait and see, but I do want to go over 20 potential options for your New York Jets. But hey, if you guys want the Jets to make another splash signing here in NFL free agency, send a message to the front office here and hit that thumbs up icon. I put today's goal as 100 likes, so we just need 100 of you guys watching to go down there and hit that thumbs up button. It also helps us grow this channel here, you guys commenting and liking the video, so I'd greatly appreciate it. But if you guys want the Jets to make another splash signing, like today's show. All right, let's dive into free agent target number one. And this is a very unlikely option for the New York Jets, but he is a guy that's probably the most well-known name on this list, and that being Von Miller. Two-time Super Bowl champ with the Denver Broncos and Los Angeles Rams. Now, he was cut from the Buffalo Bills. They replaced him with Joey Bosa this offseason. And, Von still probably has a year or two left in the tank. Could he be a three-down lineman anymore? I don't think so. But on just pass rush-specific downs, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 situations, Von Miller is still very, very productive and just disruptive coming off the edge. Now, if the Jets were in a different spot where it's like, hey, we need that extra piece to get us to the Super Bowl, then I think Von Miller would have a ton of interest from me personally. But with where the Jets are right now, kind of having a building block year, a culture-setting year, I don't necessarily think throwing Von Miller like a one-year, $10 million deal is going to change anything. But who knows? He could also be a nice guy to mentor some of the young edge rushers, Will McDonald, Jermaine Johnson on this roster. But I think it's unlikely that he will have, personally from Von Miller's side, any interest in the Jets. But another veteran edge rusher here, Matthew Judon. Now, he was traded to the Atlanta Falcons last offseason from the New England Patriots. Played an all right year. I think Falcons fans would have expected a little more from him, but still a veteran edge rusher, very similar to the Von Miller situation. Now, I could maybe see Judon having more interest in the Jets than Von Miller, since I think Judon is probably just chasing that one more contract, trying to still, get some high-quality reps out there, and the Jets could offer him that somewhat as a rotational edge rusher, but I can't really see the Jets making a big-time move at the edge rusher position here remaining in free agency. But they couldn't make a move at the cornerback position. And what about Marcus Williams? A famous play for him, the Minneapolis Miracle, when he missed on that tackle on Stephon Diggs. But he was benched by the Baltimore Ravens last year during Week 13. And when Marcus Williams got benched, we saw the Ravens secondary take off. Like, if you guys remember last year, they were one of the worst pass defenses in the league. But once they benched Marcus Williams, they switched up a couple of their personnel slottings. They started playing some great football. So I would be okay with Marcus Williams as just a rotational guy. Like, if he's your 3rd, 4th, or 5th corner, it's not a bad situation, but I would rather have the Jets target corner in the draft and try to get some young guys in here. So these 3 top guys don't have too much interest in them, but I do have interest in this guy right here, Jedrick Wills Jr. He can play both tackle positions, and obviously the Jets having a need at the right tackle, you could go take a chance on a guy who's got a lot of talent, has been dealing with a lot of injuries through his career, but when he is healthy and he is out there on the football field, he is very, very productive. And maybe at the Jets, maybe you go Jedrick Wills and then you draft a guy in the 3rd or 4th round, and then you would just have that guy wait behind Wills, and then, he could still end up being a tackle of the future. I think he's got that level of talent, but, we'll have to wait and see how the Jets start to play that. But also another offensive tackle, George Fant. He could play some right tackle across from Olufashanu as well. But still, if it's an edge, corner, or offensive tackle, I'd probably see the Jets are more likely to sign one of these 2 guys on the bottom of your screen right here over the 2 guys on the top. But we can kick it to some wide receivers here, as the Jets still have a big need at that wide receiver 2 spot. I like the pickup of Tyler Johnson. I like Malachi Corley, but I think you just need another playmaker in there. And maybe Josh Reynolds could be that. He's just a solid wide receiver. He's not going to blow you away with his athleticism. But if he just needs to come in for a season, produce 400, 500 yards, I still think he can do that. But my top option at the wide receiver 2 spot would actually be Tyler Lockett. Now, he was released by the Seattle Seahawks earlier on this offseason, and as we're filming this, he is still a free agent, just like all of these guys. So, if you're seeing this weekend, some of these guys are signed. My apologies, but Lockett is still available right now, and I think he would be a pretty good option. He would be a good mentor for a guy like Malachi Corley, even Tyler Johnson, still young, and obviously Garrett Wilson, still young as well. But the one thing about Lockett that I love and how he's been able to add some longevity to his NFL career is his ability to not take hits. Like, there's a hilarious highlight reel of when he is, just running in the open middle of the field and he'll just go down right away instead of taking that hit. It's kind of that next level to add a couple years to his NFL career. So he still got it. We also got a guy like Tyler Boyd. He's a really, really good wide receiver 3 still, in my opinion. Wasn't too productive with the Titans last season, but I think that was just the Will Levis experiment going wrong, in my opinion. But I think he could be a good option too. And same with DJ Chark. Like, all 4 of these guys, I think, could step in and be solid wide receiver 3s. Would I probably rather have them maybe wait for the draft and, maybe get a Tyler Warren in the first round, then you go maybe get another receiver in the 3rd or 4th. I'd rather have them go that direction. But with a lot of holes on this roster, maybe they say, hey, we could hit free agency to plug in one of these holes. You also got a guy like Elijah Moore. He's a super talented football player as well. And, I think a lot of these guys, even though they may have fizzled out with the previous organizations, if you do believe in the Aaron Glenn, Darren Mougey culture that they're trying to set here with the New York Jets, you would hope that they would get the most out of them. And I think it would be in a great spot if you would sign one of these guys and they go have a great year with the Jets, and other free agents are like, oh, man, Elijah Moore, he didn't really work out with the Browns, but he went to the Jets and he ended up having a career year. Like, NFL players think like that, and that could be an advantage for New York. But we'll get the 10 more names here in a second. But first, you guys let me know down below. Name a free agent the Jets need to sign. Is there a guy out there that maybe I just talked about in the first 10, or maybe I'm not talking about on today's show? You guys let me know. Name a free agent the Jets need to sign. All right, let's get into one of the biggest Swiss Army knives in the National Football League, and that's Isaiah Simmons. Now, this guy, I believe he was a top 15 pick in the NFL draft, but extremely versatile linebacker, freak athlete, ran like a 4.3 940, 6'4", got some good size on him, a freak athlete, like I was just saying. Has he lived up to his first round pedigree? Absolutely not. But I still think if you're Aaron Glenn and you're Steve Wilkes and you believe you are some of the best defensive minds in the league, you could probably view an athlete like Isaiah Simmons as a kind of project for him, and maybe the Jets could get the most out of him. And plus, maybe you would want to stick it to New York or the other team in New York, the Giants, and sign with the Jets. But linebacker, I'm actually a huge fan of here. Zach Cunningham, veteran, hard hitter, elite communicator on that side of the field. And if you just need a guy, and listen, Jermaine Sherwood, he'll probably wear the green dot, or Quincy Williams this season. But if you need another rotational guy, Zach Cunningham would be a great option. Like, just a veteran behind those two, where if an injury were to happen, like, Cunningham could step in there and play some high-level football for this team. But you also got a guy, E.J. Speed, and funny enough, one of the fastest linebackers in the National Football League. He flies around the football field. I would have some interest there. But you also got a veteran option at the linebacker spot, Eric Kendricks. Now, Eric Kendricks, he's a cooked product at this point. I wouldn't have really any interest in signing him. And even we saw when he was with the Minnesota Vikings the last couple of years there, he just lost a step. He was never the most, he was never the best coverage linebacker. And when you lose a step, he's really bad in coverage. You also can't beat running backs to the outside. So I'd probably be okay on Eric Kendricks. But we also got a tight end here, Hayden Hurst, because right now it's just really Stone Smart on the roster. There are rumblings that they could bring back Tyler Conklin as well. But if you just want to have like a Hayden Hurst, Stone Smart, and then you draft a tight end, I would like that tight end room for the Jets. But another guy here, DJ Humphries. Listen, he stepped in for the Chiefs last season, and he was pretty damn bad. But he does have a lot of talent. He's got a lot of experience in the NFL, and you could plug him in at right tackle, and I think he would be very similar to like Jedrick Wills, where you are hoping he could live up to his draft pedigree. But if he doesn't, you got a young guy waiting behind him. That's how I would play it if I was the Jets. But another tight end here, one of my favorites actually in the league, Mo Alley-Cox. I feel like he's one of the most underrated players in the National Football League. Just a solid tight end. He's had great years for the Indianapolis Colts. He can run a bunch of different routes out there, and he's just a solid football player. So again, similar to Hayden Hurst, it would be a good kind of piece to round out the room. But we can go to more offensive tackles here. Andres Pete has not signed here. I forget where he was meeting with recently, so that's on me. But he is having meetings right now, so he could sign very, very shortly. But again, same situation as Humphries and Jedrick Wills. He could step in there, but I would want the Jets to have a young guy behind him to create some competition in camp, which is always a good thing. And then you got another interior offensive lineman, Dalton Reisner, played the last 2 seasons with the Minnesota Vikings. Previously, he was with the Denver Broncos as well. He's just a middle-of-the-pack guard. I think he would be, honestly, a great backup option because he can play both left and right guard. So if one of the 2 Jets starting guards were to go down, he's a great option to step in there instead of having to go to like a 5th or 6th round rookie where Reisner could come in, add some experience, played on some pretty decent offensive lines for the Vikings the last 2 years. Great communicator. Mainly better in the run blocking or pass blocking department compared to the run blocking department. Then you also got a guy like Shaq Mason. Got really no interest in Shaq Mason. I think he just stinks. I wouldn't want to take the chance on him. I'd rather go Dalton Reisner, more of a proven option at that guard spot. But hey, we just went through 20 free agents remaining, and we appreciate you guys for watching today's show. And if you guys made it to the end of today's show, hit me with me down below in the comments section. I want to see where all the real ones are at that watch this entire thing. And also, I'm on Twitter at Pat Sieps, the Twitter handle. Give me a follow over there. Give you guys a follow right back. But we appreciate all of you guys for tuning in on today's show. See you guys next time. As always, go Jets.